65 Bathurst Road. Anyone finding this in the pit area or paddock area, would you please return to the race secretary's office immediately? We will make sure that you act. If someone would like to find that, perhaps you picked up by mistake, please return it to the race secretary's office at the base of the main control tower. Thank you.
Trackside for the Australian Muscle Car Masters of 2017. Sydney Motorsport Park is the venue and will remain so. Great product. Muscle Car Masters that we have here every year. Keep tuned into the ARDC website. Here's the layout. Sydney Motorsport Park Gardner circuit is what we're using. We're just watching the cars come around turn 6. And that says 14, 7, 8, 9, 10. Interestingly enough, the A1 Grand Prix car, Nico Hulkenberg, holds the lap record at a 1:19. It's going to be a while before we have anything as fast as an A1 car going around here. Let's have a look at the grid. It'll be Jack Smith, who is, well, moments away, I guess, from taking the title for the Kumo Tyre V8 Touring Car Series, and it's Tyler Greenbury alongside, who, unfortunately for Tyler will kiss the title goodbye if Jack has a good run and takes out this race. Michael Anderson in P3 won't let go of his title chances in the top 3 as well as John McCorkindale, who won the Phillip Island round. Jim Policina out of 5 and Michael Caine out of 6. Nandy Kiss gets welcome to the Kumo series here this weekend. Of course, Nandy Kiss sold his original touring car to Tony Klein when he began Dragon Motorsport, and since gone through with Gary Rogers and now with Terry Wyhoon in the development series. Warren Millett, Chris Smurden, Chris Delsma, Jason Foley, Andy Cattrall, Bradley Neal, Gary Collins and Jamie McDonald. I guess Gary O'Brien, the number 39, Chris Smurden, is one we've got to watch to come through on this field a bit.
And watch out for the two Policina cars, particularly Jim Policina, number 7, who's known to make some fantastic starts. Got a green flag at the back. We're just about ready to go. We've seen him go from P8 to P1 off the start, and he's in P7, so he's on the wrong side of the track for this one. They're often running on a warm-up lap. Normally, sometimes they just go straight to racing, but on this occasion, Tyler Greenbury may have thought it was straight off the start. He's bolted, but this will be just to get the start perfected. 3 classes here, the championship class, which you've already spoken about, which is almost sewn up for Jack Smith, who will give a main game team its first win in a series for the Kumo Tyres V8 touring cars. We've got Kumo Cup, which is probably the most predominant one here. Of course, Kumo Cup cars can run outright as well, but these are for the guys that don't have mainstream connections, I guess, like a better way of putting it. And then, of course, we've got the heritage cars down the back of the field, which are cars that are older than what we see towards the front with the mainly going back to the VS.
More of the original iteration of a V8 supercar, what the first supercar platform was based around. And, well, let's have a look at the points standing, because it could be the last time today for 2017 that the points are actually worth anything. Coming into this race, 451 points for Jack Smith, Michael Anderson 345, Tyler Greenbury 331, John McCorkindale 306. So Tyler Greenbury really needs everyone in front to fall off and not finish at all. And John McCorkindale can't weigh in outright championship-wise, but he can certainly gazump Michael Anderson and Tyler Greenbury if they DNF. So there is some hope. There is some green grass, if you like, to be had. Jordan Boys in 5th, not playing any part here this weekend. But Image Racing electing to stay away from this rain. Michael Caine in 6th place in the championship on 242. Jim Policina on 229. Josh Smith on 208. Chris Murden 207. Of course, Chris Murden's won this championship twice before.
Won the inaugural championship.
Yep, and Anton Dupextile, who we haven't seen here this weekend. Michael Anderson leads the Kumo Cup standing to John McCorkindale 2nd, Michael Caine, Jim Policina and Chris Smurden. And young Liam McAdam, who was driving an Eggleston Motorsport car at the time, holds the lap record for the Kumo V. It's at a 134.2752. So they've broken that.
Yeah, as you can
qualifying.
see, 33.14 is underneath the lap record, even though it won't count as a lap record. It'll count as a qualifying record. And as we'll see, these cars lined up. Holden's 1-2 on the grid. Brad Jones Racing Commodore and an X888 Commodore on the front row. Ford Performance Racing Falcon on the inside of the second row, and a Stone Brothers BF Falcon on the outside. And then we've got the 2 Tasman cars on the third row, followed by a Paul Morris Motorsport car in the hands of Nandy Kiss, and alongside him an ex-Holden Racing Team VZ, driven by Warren Millett. So we're not far off the start. There's a couple of older cars that are making their debut this weekend. The Paddock car at the back.
McDonald driven car, Jamie McDonald, great to see that out as we hear the popping and banging, synonymous with a supercar race start. Even the officials on the side of the track are telling them to get going there. That was such a long hold, and we're just watching now to see if Smith can come over, and does so. Greenbury follows that car through again. Millett, he's charging on through. Policina's made a reasonable start. The problem is it's left Michael Anderson done there. A little bit of rubbing there with Policina trying to push his way through, or is that actually...
Yes, Policina and Nandy Kiss. Nandy Kiss made a great start. He picked up a couple of spots.
And he's been just given a little bit of a reminder as to what Kumo Racing's all about there from Jim Policina. So a couple of Western Sydney boys duking it out there, and well, the big winner out of all of that is going to be Chris Smurden. So he gets to the inside there. Gary Collins, the Victorian, driving the Jack Daniels Commodore there as well.
Michael Caine, poor start. Chris Smurden, a good start. Got ahead of both the senior entries, the ex-Tasman cars, and now looking to get past Chris Smurden as they come down to turn 6.
Chris Delfsma, big compression lock up there, danced the back tyres around a whole lot.
Andy Cantrell gets ahead of him in the older model Heritage EL Falcon, the Vortex Ford credit car.
Good looking livery.
Yes. They go down towards turn 8, I call it 8. Something else, 15 or something. Anyway, out of that corner, it's Caine ahead of Cantrell in that battle back there. Look at this, up the front, Smurden trying to get past Kiss, and does it. So
bit of quite easy.
Smurden picks up another spot.
And then parks it off the back of the Ripple Street.
Doesn't matter, he got drive there, he's right.
Yeah, I know with the time straight line speed though. That's the biggest problem with going over the back of that Ripple Strip on the entry to that 11, sort of 12 area. You hurt your speed mid-corner there, your exit speed's down and you're going to get gazumped in a straight line. Have a look at this, Nandy Kiss running very, very low front right there. Chris Smurden
sits very low in a car, a la Paul Morris as well. Now Policina goes to the inside run and gets it all screwed up.
Catches it. No.
I think he just got out of that inadvertently because he thought he was going to get squeezed, and comes back on, loses a couple of spots as they make the run up towards the hill. Gary Collins goes through there as well in the ex-Kelly Racing Commodore, and certainly it's a wild old affair as Smurden allows both of them to go past. So Chris Smurden got a problem with the ex-Rytec car as they run through turn 4. He's slowed completely now, and he's going to come off the track. So dramas for that. Hasn't done all the series, and unfortunately has lost had a great run here today.
But over the years, he's been a regular entry. He's had the Century 21 car, the AU, and done a lot of Kumo races.
He did a little bit of qualifying and parked the car. Apparently got some water in the engine. That was the end of that for them. But at the moment, we've got Jack Smith out in front by almost 2 seconds. Greenby's got about a similar margin over Anderson in second spot. McCorkindale is next, not far behind him, right
Anderson's
behind him.
problem is McCorkindale at the moment.
Yep.
That's what he'll be doing. He'll be trying to keep an eye on what they're charging John McCorkindale, who we've seen race saloon cars. We've seen him race in the GT3 Cup Challenge for a while there as well. We're over to the Kumo Cup cars, and also had a dip in the development series earlier on this year as well.
Yeah, Anderson doing a good job for his only second year, and also jumping out of a Group N Falcon after qualifying as well, so he's alternating today, and got a qualifying first at Phillip Island at the opening round, brought on perhaps more by picking the weather conditions perfectly and putting that car that Cameron Waters won the development series in not that long ago onto pole position down at Phillip Island, now under all sorts of pressure from the guy that won the round next time they went to Phillip Island, because it's been to Phillip Island twice, been to Winton, also up to Queensland Raceway.
I reckon McCorkindale's got some more pace under him here. He needs to get past Anderson now before the cars in front get any further out in front.
Well, theoretically there should be a little difference between the power of the two cars, both run Ford V8.
Yeah, just look at where he's being able to put the car on the track though. He's being able to take there's the fire truck again weighing in on the live stream.
View. Yeah, getting their name up and right, so to speak. Yeah, and talking to Tony Evangelo about the difference between an FG and a BF, he said it's chalk and cheese. So the FG obviously being newer and stiffer would be a nicer car, but if you tune up and BF in the right condition, it can be a very quick car. As you can see, they've certainly gapped back to the next competitor, who happens to be Chris Smurden, and he's ahead of a group of around 4 cars there, battling for 5th position, having just passed Warren Millett, who's done an exceptionally good job in what is also an older car, the VZ, an XHRT car.
Just looking back to 12 months ago at the Muscle Car Masters, when the 2016 Kumo Tyres Australian V8 Touring Cars visited here, it was Gary Jacobson, who was a bit of an interloper in last year's championship, came through to take the race 1 win, with Josh Smith in 2, Tyler Greenberg in 3, Michael Anderson 4, Taz Douglas 5, Vincent 6, Tony Evangelou, and then Chris Smurden. So there's only a couple of names, Greenberg and Anderson, that Policina in that top 10 that are playing part in this year's title. Gary Jacobson, of course, has been lauded after the Paddock Endurance series, and where it is, or if you believe the scuttlebutt, looking to go into the main game. Shuffle someone else there.
That's the only way you're going to get in there.
I think Richie Stanaway's up to one of them.
Certainly. Very close here between Millett and Kiss at the moment. They exit turn 8 and head up towards the top of the track. It's interesting that we talk about, and there goes a change for position 2. They'll run side by side down the straight, and McCorkindale's done the right thing there. He's stayed in a little bit. He could have squeezed Anderson out, but opted not to. But
doesn't look to have affected his run though, does it?
He's done a great job, and so he goes into position 3.
It's going to be interesting, Gas, to see if John McCorkindale can drive away, because I had the feeling for the first lap he had the money on McCorkindale, but for the last 3 laps, Michael Anderson's been holding him up for mine. I think just where he could put the car on the track, and that's what he just proved it, because Anderson went very wide on the entry of the straight. McCorkindale was able to hold on just a little bit tighter.
McCorkindale has some good people on the headsets too. He's got Dean Cando, who raced with Mark Winterbottom in the Paddock Enduro series. He's on the cams and actually gets on the spanners as well, works on that car. So there's some good feedback going through, telling him what to do, and you, as you know yourself, the more information you're getting from your data is always makes it better. Smurden now pulls away from this battle between Millett and Kiss. Those two battling it out there for position 6 and 7, and the two Polisena cars seem to be strangely further back than we like to see. We know that Kane got a poor start, and then Polisena had that bit of a glitch down at turn 2, but they just haven't been close. You can see the cars screaming in agony under their tyre loads going into that tight, hard braking right-hander, and out the other side, back on the noise. We're on to lap 6 for our front runners. These guys are completing lap 5, and at the moment it doesn't seem as though Kane is making any inroads on it. Neither is Polisena. They're all lapping around the mid-12s, which is a fair bit off what they for that sector anyway. Their lap times for the whole lap in the mid to high 38s, so a fair bit off the pace of our race leader, who's doing 34s as his fastest time. He did over on lap 3, 4.4 second gap over Greenberry. It's just really interesting to see whether McCorkindale can catch the two Commodores. In actual fact, his sector times are a little bit slower, so he isn't. Here's Kiss trying to have another go down to turn 4. He's not going to get past there, and he's obviously keen to get by, but where can he do it, and where's the difference between the earlier model Commodore and the later one? And you know that car out in front of those two is a well-built car, being HRT when they were really strong. And Paul Morris Motorsport
were quite prolific at building cars in this era.
They were, and then they decided to buy Triple A cars and use it.
Millet losing front grip there.
Yeah, and
that doesn't inspire confidence.
All of a sudden Kane's roped these two in fairly quickly as well. So 12, 4, 11, 9 for Kane, so he's half a second faster in that second sector. As you see, our race leader, JCT Holden Commodore. This is the one that Jason Bright took our hosted the American commentators at Bathurst a couple of years ago. Not the corkscrew. Remember the corkscrew?
Yeah.
Name escapes me at the moment. But yeah, it's frightening. Darryl Waltrip. Went for a burn. That was that particular car, and this has probably had a couple of seats and steering wheel changes and what have you since then. But Millett runs wide down at turn 2.
He's struggling.
Yeah, he's having some dramas there, but he's on got a good run out of the corner. That's the beauty about running wide in turn 2. You carry more speed.
Gee, I'd be surprised if he's got deflated the way that thing's moving around. Or is it diff? It's certainly being served it up right now.
He got turned around there big time. He got a little touch from behind by Kiss. Yeah. Just a little tap.
That's all he needed. The car wasn't stable. So, Gaz, looking at this, we're all but 4 laps away from crowning the 2017 champion.
Yeah, and interesting enough, this event last year, Josh Smith won overall. For BJR was their first round win, so they've won rounds in all 3 categories. Now, if Jack Smith wins this race, that means that BJR have won the first main game team to win at this level, effectively the third tier of supercars in Australia. So it's quite a good effort from those guys. Certainly at the moment with Michael Anderson back in 4th spot, he's second in the series, so it's going to be a bit hard for him, and the gap between them is over 100 points. So you'd have to say that it's all in Josh Smith's favour now as they go and complete lap 7 of a 10 lapper, 2 more to go. The points system weighs differently for the third race because it's longer. They'll get extra 50% of points, and here we see Michael Kane passing Andy Kiss down at turn 2.
Ravage Raceworks written across the front of the car there. Dean Lilly's business. Quite a very well-renowned race prep guy out of Melbourne. Travels up and helps Jim Polisena. In fact, he helps Jim Polisena every time he hits the track. What it's in, they've had quite a long and successful friendship / motorsport relationship over many years, and Dean Lilly is an A1 kind of guy when you look at the car prep and set up and running of it.
He's done quite a bit of stuff. He's raced a ute, he's raced in production touring, done a time tack as well.
A number of very, very fast and very production cars.
Chris Smurden now is currently running 5th, and his time suggests that he's actually catching Anderson. But I don't know if there's enough gap laps for him to do it at the moment because...
there we see it on the Blendline TV chart. Smurden, lap 1 was 6th, lap 4, 5, lap
so
7,
he's picked
5,
up 4 spots, and we
more.
see one of the Policena cars go around. That's Kane. And boy, he's done a good, lit that up well. That'd do any race celebration in the world good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that was no celebration. I think that was sheer frustration there.
So that's dropped him down behind Kiss and his boss, Policena, and back into 8th position. Andy Cantrell leads the Heritage cars. Gary Collins in behind him, but the second of the Heritage cars is, of course, Brad Neal in the ex-Parsons machine, and Jamie McDonald's just been put back down the lap.
Good on Jamie staying right out of the way there on debut with the
Paddock,
the VP.
Ex-Paddock car.
Bob Pearson built in-house.
Perkins built car, I think you'll find. Had a lot
Sorry,
of Perkins
run in-house with the product team.
There's
a few Bob Pearson cars floating around. There's, Andrew Newton's got one floating around down there in Melbourne.
Is that the Spiderweb one? Yeah, that became a VS in the end, or got upgraded.
Yeah, it's got a 308 sitting in it. That's how...
they all did.
That's how, yeah. You sort of walk up to them and go, wow, that thing takes up a lot
they were
of
304 by then.
Something like that.
Yeah. But at the moment, there's Andy Cantrell leading the Heritage class. It's his second outing for the year. He did the Queensland Raceway round, but didn't do too well. And there's Brad Neal in that ex-Parsons Perkins built VS Commodore, just getting put down a lap 2, enjoying their racing in this class. Who started out doing what they call the 5 litre series in historics, which are basically demo or what we call master blasters at these meetings. Nandy Kiss still going, but here's our race leader on his final lap, and we're pretty sure that he will wrap up the title with this performance today. Out of turn 2 in this car. His season probably didn't start off exactly how he wanted it to, but boy, he's progressed since then.
Jason Foley's just come into pit lane there. The car was not sounding good at all as he retires from the race, but with absolutely no retirement on the horizon. In fact, a climb up the motorsport chart is this guy on screen, young Jack Smith of Brad Jones Racing. After they've dinged up a fair bit of gear over the last few weeks.
Yeah, Brad Jones Racing, of course, running in all 3 tiers, which is exceptional. Runs 3 cars in.
It's a big effort
for a smaller team as well. 3 cars in the main game, 3 cars in development series. And
maybe Gary Rogers needs to go and speak to Brad about running so many cars, because he's looking to up the ante next year as well. So here's the car front on that is. After this race, champion-elect for 2017, Tyler Greenbury has put up a great fight. In fact, he's won a lot of races this year, but just in between winning them and not finishing them.
The wheels fell off his series, basically.
Oh, look at this. This is very happy.
Yeah.
Giving a bit of a wibble and a bit of a wobble down the straight. And Greenbury still charging hard as he just backed right out of it and dribbles it across the line there. That's a great run there. Big congratulations to Jack Smith, and what a fantastic result there. 2017 Kumo V8 Touring Cars Series winner, of course, provisional until confirmed, but I'll go to the scrutineering bay and those things will be checked out. Tyler Greenbury just coming up alongside and saying, well mate, early on in the year it looked like this was going to be mine, but you put up the great fight, and congratulations. Tyler is also a great bloke, and we expect him to go a long way as well, as he's pulled off to the inside. Or we are looking for clear track to have supercar burnout celebrations, or we've got a genuine problem here with our now champion, or has he just been gazumped by emotion and having a moment just out on track there to gather his thoughts? There it is, the point score. Jack Smith 494 to Michael Anderson 372, Tyler Greenbury 366. So those spots can still change around, and McCorkindale as well. There's still enough points on offer that second, third and fourth in the championship is still wide open, not wider, but it's certainly mathematically available to change that result. And he's asking for a flat toe. So problem there, run out of fuel. here he is, Jack Smith. Rounds 5, races 13, wins 6 out of those 13 starts and 4 out of 5 poles for the 2017 season on your Blendline TV stats chart here at Muscle Car Masters. We'll take a quick break because we have got the big bangers, the Gods of Thunder, Sports Sedans up next.
Now very much up the track in the championship. There were just 20 points between Anderson and Green regarding this race. That margin is now coming down by, looks at it by 7 points. So they're less than that, 13 points for second and third. The Kumo series, and it really is a whole moving forward battle in classic Aussie touring car style. So we look forward to that tomorrow. In the meantime, we'll celebrate Jack Smith, clinching a championship, the likes of the flag. And that was Jack Smith. Out of the 13 race. This is a very, very nice race. Very clean. Anyone who's not necessarily look at those dominant performances out in front, look at them a little bit. So getting the start right, leading turn one, consistent throughout the race. If it was me, just a little bit of 5 out of 10 at the start, because there was a little bit there in terms of turnout.
Welcome back, trackside here at Sydney Motorsport Park, 2017 Australian Muscle Car Masters, and we're having a ripping day. Don't think you can't come and join us if you're watching us on the live stream. It'd be great to see you trackside, but enjoy the Blendline TV coverage of the 2017 Australian Muscle Car Masters. The ARDC, Valvoline, Mercedes-Benz, Parramatta, Apex, Mother, Polishers, Waxers and Cleaners, Tickford and Famous, all the commercial support for here this weekend. And we have got the national sports sedans on track, the gods of thunder, the big bangers of Australian motorsport as they make their way around. Got a very, very good mix of national cars here that are running for national championship, and they are coming around. Jack Perkins will be on pole position, his pole position time of 1:30.99. Not really setting the world on fire there, but it's fast enough to land on pole. Steve Lacey at 1:31.1, Grant Dorman at 1:31.8, Daniel Tomasi at 1:32.1. Bill Chetton, who leads the championship, coming out of 5. Phil Crompton next on the grid there, 7th. Stuart Inwood, Shane Woodman, the Victorian in the BMW. Magnificent, almost an artwork, that car that they've built down at Riverside Racing with Gary and Liam. That's it coming around. That's the Monaro. It's already gone through the Colin Smith Monaro out of Queensland there as well. So Chris Jackson, great return in the Kumo car. Anthony Cox back to Alex Williams in the RX-7. Joseph Said also in a rotary powered Fiat of all things. Ian Cowley, the Victorian Sports Sedan champion of 2 years ago. Russell Wright next on the list then. Tony Barton, New South Wales. Fred Geisler, Michael Coulter, Hugh McAllister, Rusty French in the number 91. Great to see Rusty out there in his Ford Mustang. And then we go back to Daniel Smith, Colin Smith, a long, long way back. Look for that red Monaro to come forward from there. Vin Stenter, great to see Vin travel north of the border, Victorian up here for Groove Station out of the Greensboro Shopping Centre there. Chris Aston, look forward to him to push through as well. Glenn Pro and Scott Fleming off the back. This will be a rolling start. Jack Perkins has done a few of these. In fact, they've all done a few of them. None more than Darren Hossack and the Alpha of Tony Riccatello. And there it is, the thump down past the grandstand here. Shane Woodman just tweaks it a bit sideways there with 6 litres, 750 horsepower going to the ground there. Michael Robinson goes very wide in the yellow Monaro, but it's going to be Jack Perkins. We actually expected these 2 Camaros to come up a lot earlier on in this race. There's the Reed Mustang. There's Said there also in the rotary powered Fiat. Coxie in the Mopar powered Saab there, so it's a different iteration, not a Chev. It's got the Mopar power plant on board, and it sounds fantastic. The thumping Chev in the Saab and the screaming rotary there. Vince Stenter coming through in the Skyline, and there's the Aston car. Shane Bradford at the wheel, number 68. Got very close to a national title a few years ago, but Tony Riccatello and Darren Hossack came straight over the top. Lead change now. It's Lacey. Now he's running the Kumo tyre. Of course, the national championship is on a Hankook, and the iterations of the Kumo. This car going around the outside, the number 27 there, the championship leader, Bill Chetton, who Jack Perkins is just trying to make him work very hard for it. Running on the Kumo, they come on a lot earlier. The Hankooks, the national guys tend to do races that are a little bit longer, although we've only got a 10-lap race here today. This is certainly going to play into the hands of these 2 yellow Camaros out in front. Here comes Dulman now. Tomasi's on the Hankooks, and then behind him that big wide orange Mustang, middle of your screen now. Phil Crompton, he'll be on the Hankook tyre as well, being a national series car. Tomasi, number 19. That car 2 years ago just absolutely cleaned up anyone and anything in a straight line, and it pulls over. Pulling over Daniel Tomasi. The Tomasi family's tales of woe for 2017 continue, and we see another sports sedan pull up where 2 others have pulled up this morning that were on fire. No fire there, no smoke. They continue on. There's Phil Crompton again. Shane Bradman, Shane Woodman comes through there as well. The Landau Science car. Here's Dulman. Been around a while, this car. This has had a lot of development going into it. This car here, Jack Perkins, the number 4 car. John Gourlay owned, famous in sports sedan racing here in Australia. Is the owner of that car.
Jack
Continue
now
to
in the
develop
threat.
it.
Gorman really right up the tail of Jack Perkins here.
Yeah, it'll be very, very hot air too.
Yes.
So running the spare engine in the Audi here this weekend.
But Jack very quick around the back part of the circuit there, the tight twisty bits. There was the truck. Tell us about the Chevy truck.
Yeah, the number 17. This runs Michael Coulter. It's a NASCAR truck type of outfit. And just in front of him is the Williams number 37. There's Colin Smith, who was about 5th or 6th in the National Championship the last couple of years in a row. The MR Automotive car. And he's got, that's Rusty French, in the Black Sky Sans Monaro, and it looks like Inwood has gone to the pits there. Dean Cam, have a look at this. Big mean Dean Cam charging back through the field. Great to see Dean back in national competition into well, he's well up from 22 now. He goes back through on the car that was the national champion in 2015.
So what is that thing, Rusty? Is it a Mustang?
Yeah, it's a Mustang,
yeah.
Touring car masters type of outfit. So a sports sedan of sorts.
Like a TCM and a model
Yeah. Well, that is actually a TCM car that Rusty does use in that. He's watching a whole lot of tyre lock up there for Chris Jackson. He's charged. Coming out of 13th, he's up to 9th, so big move there in Jackson. Copping has just taken that spot back from him, and it looks like Reed wants that as well, as Perkins is out of it. Perkins is out of it. Continuing on, but that is not motivated. That Audi, there's no smoke, but there's no fire either.
No fire either.
So this is the national championship easing into the hands of Birrell Chetton. It'll be Steve Lacey that will be challenging him on points now, so we'll probably see Jack Perkins heading back to the pits. The spare engine didn't have a proper map for the engine management system, but Michael Robinson, the two Victorians now coming together here. Shane Woodman, who won the Victorian Championship and was doing well. Here's a great battle. Copping to Jackson. Reed. Cox down the inside there, looks for it. You could not want from any more torque in the number 95, the big Mopar. Absolutely thumps the ground. You hear in the background the Audi just coming down pit lane of Jack Perkins. Second round in a row, retiring.
It's enough to swerve today, isn't it?
Oh, it's not nice. And no one will take it worse. Jack Perkins won't be entirely wrapped about it, but John Gorlow, the car owner, just takes these things to heart. I suppose when you pour your heart into something and it doesn't go right, it breaks your heart when it doesn't come home for you.
Not only your heart, but also a fairly fat check.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be back next year. Certainly be back next year for the National Series. There's some more changes coming on there. Chris Jackson, the number 26, Calibra. He looks to have some issues there, some sort of oil leak.
It's not the fresh, is it?
No. Here's the run now. Where's Robbo? He's in 7th. So this is actually, this is for championship positions here as well, because Michael Robinson is actually sitting 2nd in the title hunt. So, albeit that Birrell Chetton is out in front at the moment, just looking, because it's Jack Perkins, Stephen Lacey. Lacey's leading the race, so he'll drag a bulk amount of points out of this. So it's going to be very interesting at the end of this. Woodman down the inside of Bradford, and both of them go straight on there. A lot of tyre rubber going up there. Michael Robinson not being able to exactly take full advantage of it. Gets Bradford, stays out of it. In fact, you've got to suggest that the tyres on Robbo's car are going to be less like 50-cent pieces than the other two around him after both of them had all 4 locked up.
I think Robinson did a really good job just to steer clear.
Stay out of it, didn't he?
Stay out of that impending accident.
Yeah.
Which didn't end up happening.
Michael Robinson in a brute force version of motorsport, which is what sports sedans are. An absolute gentleman. As you'd imagine, real estate agent by week. Has to watch his P's and Q's, and he does. It comes naturally. A really nice fella. Not taking anything away from Shane Whitman or Shane Bradford as well. All great blokes. But this is actually the brute force end of Australian motorsport sports sedans.
Well, you talk about muscle car masters. This is where the muscles always have happened. Always do. I hope.
Yep, it's about flexing horsepower and getting the biggest tyres and making it all work. And they're so bespoke, these cars, that they do pour their heart into them. And anyone with any sort of engineering house can turn their hand at doing something different and often do great with it. Remember when John Gourlay bought the Audi out for the first time, everyone thought, oh, that's a little bit radical. And within a year, Darren Hossack had it on the front row of the grid. Here's a good run here. This is the number 99 of Bo Hatton. He was battling it out with Vince Stenter. There's Rusty French and Dean Cam. Couple of blokes from Lang Warren in Melbourne getting jiggy with it. I tell you what, you don't want to have these two rubbing you up the wrong way. Rusty French, a wily competitor. Dean Cam loves it. Loves going racing in this Corvette. Really, really good to see Dean back in the National Series. We've missed him over the last couple of years. And he's really, really cool to see Dean Cam back. You see the number 50 all over the back of Ian Cowley. And looks down the inside there. Can't quite pick up who's in the number 50 at the moment. Don't have any...
Russell Wright.
Russell Wright, yep, of course, he'll be rustling the Trans Am type of car. Here's our leaders on lap 5. 118 points. Sorry, 118. Lacey to Chetton to Dulman, Crompton, Robinson. Battling it out now. So Woodman has held out Robinson, but Robbo's managing to stay with Bradford. Here comes the 118 Real Dairy car. Stephen Lacey, great driver, won the national round at Phillip Island last year, nearly won the 50k plate last year, had a very, very rare mechanical failure. The bottom knuckle in the control arm failed on him on top of Lukey Heights, so the highest load on the right hand front at Phillip Island, and parked it in the gravel trap. It was a real shame that he didn't take the 50k plate, and boy, I hope he travels down to Melbourne for the last weekend in November and tries to take on the 50k plate at Island Magic. In fact, I hope everyone comes down and joins us, because that is a ripping weekend. It's like schoolies for race car drivers down at Cows at Phillip Island, Melbourne's playground at that time of the year. Everyone comes out. All the championships are done and dusted. There's a couple of famous trophies, the Endeavour Cup, and Victorian Tourist Trophy, all of those sort of races, and the 50k plate for sports sedans. Robbo, he's found a renewed zest for this race. All over the back of his fellow Victorian and Landau Signs BMW. A ripping car. What a great couple of silhouettes there. The German coupe, the Aussie coupe.
The once was BMW.
Yes, I think the badge is about that, and that might even just be a peel-off sticker these days. But yeah, the guys down at Riverside Racing, that car is just magnificent. If there's everything you wanted in a sports sedan, it's got everything. Less a little bit, because I think they've engineered some weight out of it just by saving on a couple of things. Yeah. Colin Smith's progression is awesome. Out of 28 up to 21, then up to 16, and now up to 14, and that's what we expect from Cole. Here he is on screen now, the MR Automotive Valvoline car, number 44, been around the National Series for a long time. This guy ran it was a Rover SD 3500, but with a Chev mid-mounted in it. Yeah. And it was actually one of my favourite sports sedans, because those Rover SDs, they were a pretty cool touring car in their time, and being run with a Chev in it, I guess for mine, it just only improved it by 6 litres, I guess.
It was 2.5 litres better.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And they kind of had a bit more heart, those litres, than the original ones.
Yeah, they did. This is a ripping battle. Crompton gone. The guy's done a fair bit of national racing, and it's just disappearing. A little bit of smoke there. The Hankooks on it. Here comes Woodman across the top of the hill with Robinson. Let's have a look at our leader now. Steve Lacey, fastest lap at 131.5. Next is Dulman at 132.6. Then Chetton's gone through. Chetton goes through into P2. So that has changed. That does his championship title hunt a world of good. But Steve Lacey is so far out in front. 11 seconds out in front. There goes Lacey off the bottom of the straight, and here comes Chetton at the top of the straight, and we might have lost Dulman. Well, Dulman, there he is. Dulman was in the lead earlier on in this lap, and got a delaminating tyre falling apart there on the number 7. Right down there towards the back of the field. That's right. And he's got to stop because there's a tyre barrier right there.
Only just.
And that almost ended up being very, very nasty there.
That could have ended in tears.
So the number 7, Mark Wright, and that looked like a genuine article car, so he'll be very disappointed. He's scratched that up with a deflating tyre. He jumps 117, which is Steve Coulter, local contractor here in Sydney. Paddock ran Aussie racing cars, now running what's called Oz Truck. And there's a nice little BMW Geisler, number 924. A couple of big numbers that we're sporting here this weekend with these cars.
It's interesting to see people with names like Geisler. You have generations coming through, Dulmans and so on.
Yeah.
It's
Grant Dulman.
Grant Dulman. And
he's doing Cam back on screen.
Got, Rocky Canto out here today.
Race leader goes through. Here comes Dean Cam. He's ranging up on the Oz truck of number 17. Oz truck there. He's actually lost a couple of spots. He must have had an off. Hasn't done a whole lot of racing in 2017. It's good that he's come to Muscle Car Masters. I dare say he'll be organising himself for a 50k plate program at Highland Magic at the end of November. This battle between these two Victorians, the number 16 and the number 32, so one number's half of the other one. So not sure what that's about. Maybe they've organised that. Here's our race leader. He will come around. There he is, 118. Stephen Lacey's real dairy car, Tonkin supported Tablecraft outfit.
14 seconds in the lead.
It's an impressive drive. Steve has taken these sports sedan racing to a new level over the last 3 seasons. He's been exceptionally smart about going about it. He's also packing a punch with this car. It's an absolute weapon, and it's all good and well to have an absolute weapon, but you've eventually got to be able to tame that weapon and get it home to the end. See, with sports sedan, we've already seen 3 or 4 in this race that have dropped off. Just watching Vin Stenter. He's in 25th on the road there, but that's essentially a 4-pan car. It's had a cage put in it, albeit a big turbo 6-cylinder engine in it. Doing a good job and enjoying his motorsport. We set off on our final journey for this one. It's Steve Lacey that's going. Oh, there it is, checkered flag. So there's the end of that one to Steve Lacey. He takes the win. And it's Grant Dulman. Something's happened to Beryl Chetton. Wow, the championship has just taken a turn. Dulman gets through. There's Chetton to the line now. It's actually, I'm not sure what's going on there. The timing screen's jumping around all over the place. Here comes Dulman's gone through, and here comes Woodman. So that's 4th. Well, sorry if this is confusing you, ladies and gentlemen. It's confusing John and I here at the moment. Well, the timing screen says Steve Lacey to Beryl Chetton, Grant Dulman, Shane Woodman, Shane Bradford. Great run there for Shane in the number 68. Michael Robinson, who just dropped off towards the end of that race. Steve Reed. Anthony Cox getting home in the big old Saab. Steve Copping, who was a state champion only a couple of years ago. Chris Jackson ringing it in there in the white Kumo tyres Calibra. And there we have it. 10 laps completed, 16.5 seconds in front. Steve Lacey beats teammate, for all intents and purposes, the number 27, Chetton home. Dulman, Woodman, Bradford and Robinson. So Robbo's still keeping the dream alive because he's trying to see, well, Jack Perkins didn't bring it home, but Steve Lacey's just had a win and the gap is not a whole lot. Michael Robinson had 4:36. Steve Lacey 3:69, so maybe Robbo's got enough just to hang on. onto second in the championship. So that'll be another year that Michael Robinson takes a podium in the championship, but not the big top step.
Well, you look at Michael Robinson's car, it looks so much more original in appearance, at least, than everything around him. Everything around him looks terribly radical.
Dean Cam's slowing down. He's got smoke billowing out of that car. That is
not looking a happy car, is it?
No. That's been driven hard and put away wet many, many times, that one. Dean Cam, he is the excitement factor when he's ringing the neck of this Corvette. You know it's a good weekend when you come to the track and you see the Corvette being unloaded out of the trailer. And there is the number of non-finishes, if you like. Michael Wright, he's parked it up. Fleming parked it up. Crompton parked it up. And we were just looking at Tomasi, arguably the fastest sports sedan in a straight line in Australia, has parked it up. Crompton looks like he's got it going again now. He's just making his way into the Turn 4 runoff road. Coulter's come in their truck. We'll take a well-deserved break because we'll have the Master Blast demo on track next, which is equally as much fun, but I guess a little bit less pressure than the National Sports Sedan Championship.
Just a tad less pressure.
We'll be back in just a couple of moments with the Master Blast, your trackside with Blendline TV at the Australian Muscle Car Masters.
Now the Montoya's competitive must have played in last night's 18-4 win over England to come over the conditions. They just went really well.
Welcome back to Sydney Motorsport Park. Here we are for the first Group NC race of the weekend. We've seen them qualify a little bit earlier here at Muscle Car Masters, and now we'll be underway with a race fairly shortly. Wall on pole in the ex-Pete Gagan Ford Mustang, one of the actual real cars from the era. John Young, who's inside, we can tell you, and we often see that car run around in the stage. Tate alongside Phillips on the second round versus Taranas. Tilly, that's Jamie Tilly, that's Brett Tilly's son, in position 4, John Bauer in 5, and
John Brower, we've got an historic driver driving an historic race.
yes, and one that he finds a little bit arduous because it doesn't have power steering in it, and he's used to having cars with power steering. But apart from that, there it is on screen, as you can see it running around.
Look, I have a feeling there's probably a couple of thousand people out here today who'd be quite happy to take over the duties.
Yes, for
if
sure.
John decided the lack of power steering was just all too much for him.
Yeah.
Then we've got the first of the Mazda RX-2s, Attard, in car number 96.
That's built Attard, of course.
Then John Wright in the first of the Wright racing Taranas from Kangaroo Valley in New South Wales.
Lovely part of the world down in the Southern Highlands.
Sort of the Southern Lowlands, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's at the doorstep to the Highlands, we might say.
Between Nowra and the Southern Highlands.
Yeah.
You're not from New South Wales.
Not everything in the country.
And then you've got Michael Anderson in the Vermilion Fire Falcon GT.
Yeah, he's from a little country town called Bathurst. They have a reasonable car race there.
Yeah, I believe it could take off.
It might do. Give it time. You never know. First of their 3 races, of course, we've got races on tomorrow. One more event after this will be race 2 for Group C and Group A, what we now call heritage cars, and we've seen some of those cars going around in master sessions. What they do there, some of them actually doubled up by having their owner driver race it, and then the guy who originally drove the car doing the Master Blaster session, so that's how that all worked. But at the moment we've got this situation with David Wall on pole, having just come from the Gold Coast where he secured the Porsche Carrera Cup Australia Series for 2017.
He absolutely blitzed them in qualifying, 2 seconds faster than Tate in the Camaro.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty convincing kind of a margin.
What you'll see here too, we've got a Mustang and the Camaro on the front row. Now the Mustang's a genuine car, so it's got a few more liberties than what the Group NC car, which are a set of rules, common set of rules based around improved production and series production that raced in Australia only in that period up to the end of 1972. So you'd expect that some of those cars have pretty good horsepower out of them at the moment. Where David's very strong will be in and around the corners and under braking, because the cars are certainly uprated in that area. It might not just have quite the top end that some of the NC cars have, i.e. that one alongside of it, and it was a couple of years ago now, but Mick Donoghue I think drove that Camaro, one that's very similar to it, and gave David Wall some curry for quite a few laps in their NC races. But 2 genuine cars here, i.e. the car on pole, and of course John Bauer, who's back on position 5. We have seen Glenn Sedan at the Worley ex Brian Thompson Camaro here in the past. Unfortunately that's not here this year, so keep an eye on the green Tirana, Simon Phillips on the second row. That's a very quick car, very quick combination out of Queensland. That car's been around, well, he hasn't been around for a while, but he has proven to be very quick in the past.
Last car was just formed up, which I think was Leinster in the Leinster or in the Escort, or one of the Escort drivers.
Yep, quite a few of them in the back of the field. We're just about to go to a lights out situation. Stand by, and off the line you would expect that the Ford Mustang would be strong. Bowers made a brilliant start down the inside. Looks like no, but
he was lost a lot.
And then he lost it. Looked like he had pace on the others. And as we see this big field filter through, we've got Tiranas and Chargers and Falcons down towards the back of the field, and again we see side by side running down to turn 2.
What a great shot of the field coming into turn 2. I'll tell you what, that was fantastic.
Big lock up from one of the Camaros there. That's the number 2 car of Freeman.
And Warren Wright on his outside hung right out to dry.
Steve Land, who's been racing Caprice back when they were the finger race. still races one today in that number 80 lime green car. Another Camaro's car. I think that's Wilson.
Grant Wilson.
Grant Wilson with RX2s having a bit of a ding dong there with Haddad and Rogerson rubbing doors a little bit, but it's a bit congested. You'd say it's like Collins Street in Melbourne on a Friday afternoon or George Street in Sydney, but I don't allow normal traffic in George Street much these days, so it'd be hard to make the comparison. Maybe Elizabeth Street in the city of Sydney.
Of a Pennant Hills Road would do.
Oh, any street in Sydney. We're watching them all go through, filtering their way through this first hectic lap of the 9 lapper that's 5 or 8 laps, I should say. And that's car 8 there running through. That's
Alan Reid.
The car used to be a browny goldy colour, now it's in traditional vermilion fire, as we discussed earlier. And Steve Land in the number 80 car really backs above his average with what he does in that car. Certainly hasn't got the grunt of a Tirana, but he pushes it so hard and drives it so well. First car's across the line, it's Wall from Andrew Tate, Tilly in first spot, Phillips back to fourth, then we've got a bit of a gap back to Anderson, Bow, Bagley, another of the Queenslanders down here in the Tirana, Bill Haddad, John Ryan, Craig Luca in 10th spot, Rogerson's lost a couple of spots, Ethan Lynn, another Tirana in 12th, Burke in 13th, in the first of the Chargers.
And
There's only 2 Chargers and one's gone really wide off. Wow, that's a big oversteer run off that corner.
And we've just tried to pick up the number and we've been totally inept at trying
Yeah,
to do
you
something.
can't even read the number of one of the Tiranas, and that's had a major off the car, number 180, who's would have dropped right down the field.
That was Matthew Sullivan, entered by Amanda Sullivan Chartered Accountants. So do some more numbers to get some more credit.
Yeah. And here's Michael Anderson and John Bow having a bit of a fight. As you said, the power plants in these NC cars are comparable, if not a bit better than the older cars, but the older cars have got a lot bigger tyres, got better brakes, so they actually probably grip up a bit better. So JB's got his hands full with that Barker in front and Tirana's coming in behind, and number 76 was Bagley, and they actually had a touch-up at the Lakeside Classic when Monaro had a locked up diff on the warm-up lap, and it's a bit of a war mark on the back of the Monaro as a result of that. But I love the way they run these cars. They don't mind giving them rubbing panels, and the panels are always replaceable. And as you see out on the straight, and I think there was a bit of a hand gesture went out there, and now Anderson's going to make a liar out of it by not having the pace to go with these front guys. The RX2s, of course, back in the day you would have never seen an RX2 pass a Tirana, but these days they tend to, because of the modern technology with what they can do to their bridge-ported engines, makes them a fair bit stronger than they probably were at the time. They were definitely a class car, not an outright car back in the day.
Yeah, it's only the really top-end Tiranas that are in front of the RX2s these days. And probably not so much here as maybe at Lakeford Park.
Yeah, well that's where they become a lot stronger running in those, where you can't use a lot of your power to sort of benefit because of the tightness of the place. Here we've got a couple of Tiranas, it's number 55 and 22.
Noel Davis in the blue car and 22.
Marentis.
Nick Marentis.
Yeah, in that other car. Now, Noel Davis has been racing in Group N a long time. His cars have generally been green, so I guess the colour changes work for him going to the blue car. And a couple of white Tiranas, one of the Wrights, and Greg Luca, I'd say. Greg Luca was probably about 10 years ago, was very strong Paddock Stray racing in New South Wales. Seen him out of the sport for a while, probably did the normal thing. Tilly's in dramas in the Mustang. Blowing a bit of smoke as Anderson comes up towards the back of it. So
and Bagley might be as well, I'm not sure. But certainly Tilly's not looking very like a happy camper, at least the Mustang as well.
He's not brought in, so there's talk that there'll be 3 Tillys at the Touring Car Masters tonight, flying around in Newcastle with because they're going to bring that car out with the 302 in it and run that up there alongside the Green Falcon and the fastest pacer in the world in Cameron Tilley's car. But good battle going on here, and going around the outside of an RX2 turn 1 is not the ideal thing. He pulls it off though. What a great move.
Big brake lock up from Michael Anderson there, who's managed to get past Bowett somewhere sight unseen to us.
And JB had been saying, what are all these little cars doing, annoying me at this stage?
And JB, I note, was very close to the back of Michael Anderson a little earlier, and I noticed there's a little ding on the nose of
Bernardo. You can see that there, right in vision. And there was a hand gesture out the window or out the cabin of the number 11 Falcon at the time too, so I don't think he would have been very happy about it. And, this is quite a queue of cars coming up here. In the meantime, David Wall's 3 seconds out in front of Andrew Tate.
And this battle of two RX2 Mazdas is still being fought.
Wayne Rogerson, of course, dates back to the Jubilee Falcon of the 60s in Clay Sports, racing against Barry Sharp's Ford engine Jaguar. And running very wide there, coming out of that corner is another 3-hour Tirana. Look forward to the Tirana race at this track.
Strong ride at 202, which was Luca. But
It's just had a big glitch.
Almost drove to Katoomba and on his way to the next turn.
Not the most pristine execution of turn 8 that we've seen all weekend. But still this battle goes on. Anderson leading Bow, then we've got Bagley, Addard and Robertson right in behind him. And more Tiranas battling it out behind between John Wright and it looks like Ethan Lynn, another of the Queenslanders in Tiranas. There seems to be a flock of Queenslanders in Tiranas this weekend taking on the local boys.
I've never seen so many Tiranas in a historic race for a long while. And just as I haven't seen so many Cooper S's than were in the Group NB race a little bit earlier.
There's been a hit between those two, and that'll allow Addard to get up the inside of Bagley, take that spot away. Rogerson looking to do the same thing. I don't know if Bagley take too kindly to that, and he'll certainly have the front end straight. The 511 is another one of our big Chef Camaros running towards the back there.
I think a few of those in Group NC.
They do. They've been running around in Trans Am in Queensland, and of course there's a couple running in TCM as well. Car 51 is
Stephen Scales.
That car was a bit of a front row a while back. And more action further back, more Tiranas. John Wright chasing up
Ethan Lynn in the car number 931.
Yeah, Lynn has actually made progress. He's up to position 9, so it's been a good effort for him to get that car up the field. Well, he's been helped a bit by these offline Tiranas going around corners, not taking the whole line and sliding it out, so comes in with understeer and goes out with oversteer.
Well, that was Exhibit A, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've seen both there. Yeah. And while Lynn took the traditional line and kept himself in front, run out onto the straight because right ahead of them. Now Bowers got back in front of Anderson and starting to move away. But Wall at the front of the field is 4 seconds in front. Tate is a further 10.3 seconds behind. In second position, Phillips is 10.3 seconds behind in third. Bow fourth. Now he trails Phillips by around about 8.5 seconds, 8.5 seconds gap there. They've spread themselves out, but by the same token, they've had some fantastic pricing happening pretty further.
Comparing quickest lap times between John Bow and Michael Anderson, not a lot in it, about 0.2 of a second, but Bow certainly the quicker of the two. And now he's out in front. It's going to take a lot of hard work.
Car 25, very reminiscent of cars from the past from the Holden family, but perhaps not that particular Holden. An RO that looked very much like that back in the day.
Well, there's one or two Porsches that ran around a little bit like that too, in terms of its colour or livery.
All were blue at one stage and then moved to yellow when Neptune became Shell.
You're not old this battle is enthralling all the way between
the two
RX2s,
But significantly enough, they've got ahead of Bagley and they've got ahead of Anderson. So Anderson's been the big loser out of all this.
He sure has.
Bagley just goes past him there as well.
He's something awry.
And you can see the battle scar on the left front car with Bagley's car when he hit with the yellow RX2 a couple of laps earlier. But soldiering on.
It's just a love tap.
Yeah. And Bow now well ahead of this as Anderson uses 351 cubic inches of Cleveland power to zoom past the Tirana down the straight.
I wonder if Anderson had a bit of off somewhere, because it's surprising to see suddenly that far back.
Yeah, you may have overstepped at one of the corners we may have missed.
Or maybe he's just out of brakes or tyres or both.
More than likely. It's good to see that if you've got anything to say about this and you want to tweet us, it is hashtag MC17, or you can, if you're very privileged, it's just like texting me, you can text me like Terry Bailey, who should have been here racing instead of sitting home watching on a big screen from his palatial residence. Tirana's still at it with John Wright and Greg Luca battling it out. They're similar looking Tiranas. White seems to be the flavour, but
Greg Luca just getting by John right there.
yeah, but now losing out because he stepped on the exit. Steve Land, of course, very quick at Lakeside. He is from out Western Sydney way, but likes to go to Lakeside and have a steer up there. I see car 2 going through there as well in Freeman in that Camaro. Good looking car in the black and silver. I like that.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And then of course we see Lynn now moving in the back of Anderson trying to unseat the Falcon. Won't get me down the straight. Let's hope there isn't another touch. That's all we need is Anderson be upset with someone else. But he'll have the grunt down the straight and you can see him pulling away as we see in the background those two Tiranas still hard at it. We're going on to the final lap. David Wall leading by 4.8 seconds over Andrew Tate. Simon Phillips third, best of the Tiranas at this stage.
Meanwhile, somebody we haven't seen all race except for the start, David Wall just disappeared into the distance.
He's shot out. We haven't seen him since.
Waved goodbye. And as a result, there hasn't been much of interest to note because he's just been out in his own, in a class of his own, in at most desirable and significant piece of Australian motorsport history.
It is has got a long way to be bested by anything. I know that the Bowdens have got the earlier model, one the more conventional looking Mustang.
Yep.
But then it was replaced by this car, the GTA as it's known, and came on to win the Australian Touring Car Championship, and very well driven by David Wall.
Beautifully presented, beautifully prepared, and beautifully driven. What more can you say? It's the trifecta, isn't it?
Yeah, everything about that car is just brilliant. David Wall, most recently crowned Porsche Carrera Cup champion, brings it down the line and takes a fairly comfortable win. He's 5 seconds up the road from Andrew Tate, who may have pulled back a little bit on this last lap. I think Wally might have got off the juice a bit.
Yeah, 4.2, he's just...
And we see Simon Phillips just exit the last corner, head down the straight in that green Tirana. Very popular colour back in the day, that and the darker green, they were the way to go. And John Bow has made up good ground, and a couple of Camaros fighting it out back in the field. And
well, Steve Land giving the black Camaro a little bit of a helping hand through the corner.
He won't like that, but then there's nothing he can do about it in a straight line. It just blasts away from the 350 cubic inches of Chev's finest under the bonnet of those two cars.
So Grant Wilson leading Greg Freeman as they complete the race. And it's a bit of a drag race now to the checkered flag. Who's actually going to make it first? I think it's going to be Grant's going to get through.
Greg Freeman's got him.
Freeman's got him,
line and knocked off Rogerson in the bargain. So a bit of a change there in the final throws of this race. Results up on screen: David Wall, Andrew Tate, Simon Phillips, John Bower in fourth, Bill Haddard in 5th, and Wayne Rogerson it was the other, it was Alan Mann.
The other is Alan Main, who just got...
Beg your pardon. My apologies to Wayne Rogerson, who was 6th across the line, just in front of Peter Bagley, Ethan Lynn in their trainers, Anderson in 9th, Greg Luca in 10th, Slipper was sliding over the place ahead of Noel Davis, John Wright, Marentis, Freeman, as we just seen, tipped Main at the post. And while we've got a chance, we'll take a break. We'll be back for the final race for today very shortly.
Has 22 minutes, so it should just get to the full race. Yes, that's memory card. That's memory card. Copy.
Sorry about that bit of a delay after the last event, but we're certainly back for the final event on the program for day one of the Muscle Car Masters. Don't forget, any comments you want to make, hashtag MCM17 on Twitter will get you through to us, and we always enjoy reading some of the contents, don't we, John?
Absolutely riveting.
And this is the second race for the weekend for Heritage Touring Cars, Group A and Group C, cars that ran in that period from 1973 through to 1992. Kerry McMahon is on pole after winning the first race in his B&H Ford Sierra, with Tony Alford alongside in the ex-GIO Nissan Skyline. Jack Perkins in the Commodore out of Western Australia, originally Western Australia. Terry Lawler in the ex-Shell Sierra, Norm Mogg in the ex-HRT Commodore, and David Tower in the ex-JPS BMW. So you can see that they're all genuine cars from that period. Group C, of course, is 73 through to 84, and Group A 85 through to 92, which then got replaced with 5-litre series, which became V8 supercars and now is known just as supercars.
That car of David Toe's has a colourful history because it wasn't always black. It was one stage, it was the Peter Brock 05 BMW very briefly.
And there was a Peter Dillon car at one stage as well.
It's been around.
Yes. Which when the 2-litre and the 5-litre series sort of went together for a while there in 93 and 94.
Also good to see Steve Webb out there. He's running off about 7th position.
Yeah, he's in the ex-Celtic Sierra. Now those three Sierras we've mentioned were all the last builds by those teams before they went away from Group A, so worth keeping an eye out on. But rolling start for these guys, so any advantage that Tony Alford will have off the start will be negated, but I think he's got enough speed to go on with it. He started off the rear of the grid in the last race and finished second, so that tells me that he's going to be pretty hard to beat in this.
I think if you were a gambling man, that would probably where you'd place your bet, but everything can go wrong. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong in motor racing, unfortunately. So,
of course, the car's looked after by Alan Heafy, and Alan Heafy worked on the Nissans back in the Gibson Motorsport days, so he knows these things inside and out. And the cars pick up speed. You can see the older cars that are basically the Group C cars, and here we come down to a start, controlled, of course, by Kerry McMahon in that B&H Sierra.
And he's holding them well back too, isn't he? It's
and someone's come out of the line there where they shouldn't have, and now we hit power and flames spit out the side of the Alford Skyline as they go down to turn 1. He's in second spot as they disappear around that corner, head down to turn 2. McMahon leads the Skyline in second. We'll try and go down inside, and you can see that Kerry's covered his base as well. Perkins in third, then we've got Lawler, Tower and Mogg, and the next one's through. Back in the field, there's our Group C cars, and you can see that there's quite a few Falcons sprinkled with one Tirana and an RX-7 as well. Now Alford goes to the inside, running down at turn 4, and will take away the lead in this one, but can he hold on? He can.
Yes, he can.
He's got it. He's got better grip at low tyre speed. This is going to work in Perkins' favour too as he tries to slip up the inside of McMahon towards turn 6. He's on the brakes a little bit later. Should get this done. He does.
Job done.
Perkins goes to second spot. We've got McMahon down on P3 and Maddox just quarters, dropped to third.
And Terry Lawler on his tail now in the 17 Shell car.
Terry even has the helmet to match. Dick Johnson wore in the day, the open face helmet, the Shell, the yellow and red Shell.
Terry has a variety of helmets, different helmets for every car, I think.
It's good. Number 11 there, just gone off. That's Steve Axiak in that M1X has hit into the wall. We may get a safety car out of this. Off on the outside of turn 8.
Then back onto the inside.
Yes, might be able to get it down onto that. He's got it going again. Well done. So he can just drive off
He would not be happy.
That's a lot of damage to they don't call them heritage cars so much for their lineage, but their value as well.
And down there, the blue Falcon hardtop.
Ex-Goss Henry Pescalaro car from Bathurst, run by Ed Singleton. Also has an ex-Roadways Commodore, and now trying to slip down the inside of the ex-Murray car, no, the ex-Rusty French John Sands car. George Nettis at the wheel of that car at the moment, and can't quite do it. And right behind him, of course, is Drew Wood in the RX-7 Harrison, the next one.
There's great contrast in cars too. More Mog, I think, in the HRT car. Yeah,
and of course they had some great battles back in the day, and the BMW would always be stronger in the second half of the events because it was so much easier on its rubber, whereas the Hawkinshaw cars tended to running the dramas, keeping the pace up towards the end. Like Steve Webb, lots of break-up going through turn 8.
Saw that car of Norm Mogg's badly damaged in a start line accident at Phillip Island a few years ago, but it was great to see that it's all been put back together and back racing.
Yep. It was sister car to the car that won the 1990 Bathurst 1000. Coming through there, and we've got the chase car coming into the pits. They almost caught it in the open lap, but Tony Alford has a fairly good lead, 2.2 seconds over Perkins. McMahon in third, Lawler in fourth, then Mogg, Tower and Webb. They're our front runners. Immediately after that's Greg Keane in the ex-Laurie Nelson Mustang, and then the first of our Group C cars. That's the ex-Army Reserve Falcon driven by Frank Binding. It was driven by Pete Gagan and Bob Muir back in the day. An ex-Peter Jansen hatchback Tirana in behind that of Longy Dice. Next one through, and of course as we go back, a sprinkling of cars there. Car 251, now that's an ex-DTM car that's done up in the B&H livery. That car was the one that was involved in an incident with our race leader in qualifying, and that's why we had Alford off the back of the grid. But this car had some, sorry, it wasn't this car, it was the Duncan McCullough car that had the incident with this car further back than what you'd expect. It's very similar in its styling, but it is very DTM compared to the McCullough car, which you must be able to right rear that's probably broken in it's right on the back of
Tony Pallas in the
Gary Wellington.
Yeah.
Jaguar that raced at Bathurst with Peter Jansen, and last time Peter Jansen raced at Bathurst was in that car with Wilmington, and we mentioned earlier that actually got pole position on one M's car and that surprised everyone bar Wilmington, because he always felt that he had a car that was capable of producing lap times at the time which no one was getting to. So going from the 251, that's Alan in that car.
With the names of Johnny Sticotto and Tony Longhurst on the side.
I think that's a car that, I'm not sure if that's the one they took to the Silverstone Festival last year. Certainly this year, Jim Richards took the 635 BMW over and had a run in it, and apparently it drew more attention than anything else that was running out there. Just phenomenal with the wheel arches the way they were on the Group C cars. That was the original car that also ran the Periscope TV race cam out of it at the time in '84.
Well, there, Frank Binding in that XD Falcon, you know, that car always seems to have been more successful in historic racing than it was when it was new.
Yeah, well, it was pretty hard to be at the front when you're racing against the likes of Dick Johnson and Steve Larson in their cars, which were probably the pace setters, and here's Tao looking for a way past Mogg.
And Mogg closes the door, as he had every right to do.
And Tao certainly itching to get past, and one suspects that the way the race goes, the more chances of getting past will happen. And he keeps looking at front.
He does.
Through turn 8 as he tries to find a way, and he's only hamstrung by the fact that the Holden would be a bit quicker in a straight line than the BMW, and can get away from him. The Fred even gets away from him in that run up to the top of the circuit as they come around.
So just to put it in perspective, this is the battle for 5th and 6th in the race at the moment.
And it is their only battle at the moment up near the front, although we go back to the field and there's heaps of battle going on. Ex-Columbine Ignis Bridges Alpha there to battle with the ex-Master and Commodore. I beg your pardon, was it? No. Yes, it was. They're back in the field and the Palace
Jaguar.
So
Palace on wheels, you might
yes.
say. Yeah.
So all those three cars all raced at Amaroo in the AMSCAR series back in the mid to later 80s, and plenty of dice is going on all the way down. Greg Keane getting an inside run on the ex-Janssen car, takes that position away. Because as you'd expect, the Group A cars effectively became faster than the Group C cars. Maybe not the first year in 85, they may not have been as fast as the Group C car, but there's certainly development, particularly turbo technology that came along with Group A, because they just upped the ante, and really only Holden were the only makers that stuck with naturally aspirated V8s, and through persistence got a win at Bathurst in 1990 with Percy and Rice taking Norris, and one of the first developments of those cars was that one you'll see on the screen there, that Holden Special Vehicles car, which may have been Herbenson's car, I'd have to check that. Developed in England, and then it's a Brock spec car with a different air scoop on it, so it wasn't an injector car, it was a carburetted car, and Featherstone's driving pretty well at the moment.
I tell you what, he's keeping George Lewis very honest, isn't he?
Isn't he? He's looking about past him here, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And then we've got Sedans behind him in the big XC car. Not probably big, but it's probably wheelbase wise, it's no different from the XC or XD in front of him.
But Phil Verort is the one who could well be the big winner out of the whole thing in the little RX-7, because he's well in amongst it there. Meanwhile, back to Frank Binding in the XD Falcon. He's just managing to hold off the BMW as well.
Yeah, great battles going on there. And as you can see, their leaders are on lap 6, and still a fair way this race to go. 12 lapper, second one for the weekend. Of course, tomorrow we look forward to seeing these cars split up into Group A and Group C respectively for a couple of races before they merge back together again at the end of the day. But at the moment it's sort of a Perkins in front. We've had it change at the front unless we've got a timing glitch again. We've seen our race leaders, because we had this issue early in the day that Alfred's car kept dropping off our leaderboard and then repositioning itself back up there. But we can't see that car at the moment. According to the timesheets, Perkins leads the way. Hopefully we'll get back towards the front of the field and have a bit of a look, see who is out in front. And as we see a couple of the Bob Holden cars, like 3 in the one frame almost there. You see that one, the front wheel drive, former TTA car. And then we got the Escort, and then the rear wheel drive Bob Holden car as well. There is another Team Toyota car here as well, but you could almost run Bob Holden's cars in the race on the moment.
We've found Alfred again. He's back at the. There was a timing glitch.
It was a timing glitch.
Yeah.
Sorry to scare anyone that may have been just watching on the live stream and not knowing, but there has been an issue with that car and its transponder. And just when you're not watching the pictures up front, sometimes you can. There it is. That's confirming that it is out in front. And what a weapon they were in the day. That car there, one of the Sedan 500 with Rowan Onsdale and Mark Gibbs at the wheel. And
what a weapon it still is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can call them Godzilla for nothing. And effectively, you could say that they were to the end of Group A, as we know it, because of the domination they brought in. Ford were about to homologate a four-wheel drive Sierra. By that stage, the decision was made to go to a 5-litre category. It's never happened. There it is. That helmet looked familiar. It should be. That's exactly what Dick Johnson wore back in that period of time.
Interesting, the philosophy of Terry Lawler in preserving this car. The names on the car are obviously Johnson and Bow on the windows, and as many people did, he put his own name in small lettering on the front guard. And he said it just looked wrong, so I took it off. He said this is the Dick Johnson car, and to have my name on it wasn't the right thing. That's not the history.
I love it. the respect that they have for these cars, and Mog still leads Tao, and that'll be getting a bit frustrating because David Tao can get, he likes to be competitive.
And in fact, he's dropped off the tail of Mog
only
a
from
little.
that point,
Yeah.
he seems to pick it up on the first half of the lap and then drops it off on the second half, and I think that's where that pull out of turn 8, that hairpin, he's just not as comfortable there as what the Commodore is, the Walkinshaw car. You see him going down the straight. It's been a good day here at the Muscle Car Masters here. Good crowd of people flocked in the place. Probably better than what we normally expect on a Saturday. There seems to be quite a few people, and now this battle for second has heated up. Perkins just ahead of McMahon. Terry unveiled that car at Bathurst at the Heritage Races at the 6 Hour at Easter. Had some dramas with the fuel pumps in it. It runs a twin fuel pump system on it, and it just all wasn't playing the game up there. And unfortunately, that one race and put it away.
Well, Terry McMahon formerly raced one of the Nissans too in this category.
So did Terry.
And so did Terry Lawler. Terry previously owned the car that's winning the race at the moment. I thought this morning as it came whistling past him, he must have rued the day he sold it, but he no doubt had his reasons.
Maintenance level might have been a bit higher than I don't know about one of those cars, but I think now Tony Alford's got one of the Nissan factory cars as well. I think he's got 3 of them. There was 5 built and he owns 3 of them. So, and he's also got the R33 Le Mans car, which I see is here.
Yes.
Hopefully we might see it out in some of the Master Blaster ones. Now the problem for
great.
these guys in second and third is the lap traffic, and are they aware of what happens? Is Perkins had a drama there? No, he probably just backed out of it. Not his car, I guess. You don't want to spoil it.
No.
And as he comes up on the back of car 45, that's Justin Matthews, a long time co-driver with Bob Holden in his various phases of racing.
So did Bob Holden ever actually drive one?
He's racing here this weekend.
Yeah, but did he ever drive a Holden?
Yeah, well back.
Because I remember him driving
Pretty sure.
Mini. The Marston Holmes Commodore has had a loop. The cars nearby are going in the opposite direction, which is never a good sign. Yeah, how many spots has he lost? A lot.
Look, very close to there now. Man trying to go. He tried to outbrake there. Very tight between there and one of the JPS 323 BMWs, but once you get past there, you always worry that they don't see it. What are you going to do? And we've got him coming up on the back of
That McMahon car pumps out black oily exhaust, doesn't it?
Well, they did in the day too.
Yeah.
They just fuel them up. They're not going to do what we've seen Jack Smith do in the Kumo Tyres race, running out of fuel as across the line. Well, we assume he did.
Well, it's a great place to run out of fuel. A hell of a lot better to run out of fuel just after you've crossed the line than about half a lap before.
So George Peters must have troubles. He's just been lapped by our second and third place cars.
Yeah, George was a fair way back, so he was, 13th? So that means the leaders. George is still running in 13th, is he? Yes, he is. So
you'll see them coming up on the back of the 635 BMW we were talking about earlier, the car that carried the Periscope race cam in '84 at Bathurst. And they'll just pass it going down to turn 2, and hopefully he sees that they're coming. The good thing is for these guys that they must, the lap cars know they're coming because Alford's been past them already, so
yes,
the gap there is 11.8 seconds, so this is a proper walloping, you might say.
Yeah.
Godzilla, Tony Alford driving it.
Well, it's history repeating itself, isn't it?
I don't think they were quite that far in front of everyone else. And then got shoehorned for a lot of additional weight and all sorts of things for Bathurst '92. I was watching '92 moment down in Port.
Whoa!
Man's just had a bit of a
tank slapper
going out of turn 6.
Yeah.
But saved it, gets it back on track.
And that
will maintain.
He'll lose a spot.
To Lawler, who should have gone by, you would have thought. He was, he's still way back behind, 26 seconds, so he'll maintain position as we get to the bottom end of this track. And we can see coming out of the corner there, there's McMahon.
Great shot here of the
two Fords.
the two Fords, the George Nittis car being taken by the Ed Singleton in the Goswell. He tried to, didn't quite pull it off, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, there's McMahon. So still holds down third position on the road, and still well clear of.
Long way back to Terry Lawler. Yeah.
And they're coming up to. I think they'll probably end up lapping the fastest of in the Group C cars. Frank Binding currently now? Looks like
And that he's had another off, as I think it might be an issue.
Braking too late.
That could be, that's an issue.
And I think he may still hold on the third spot because Terry was about 23 seconds.
Well, he's doing his best to hand Terry the spot.
Yes.
I mean, you have to say that he's given this very sporting of him.
Yeah, we'll go and talk to him later and say, Terry, why weren't you closer? You could have had third spot.
I don't think I'll do that.
But Norm Mogg and David Tower still very much in positions 4 and 5. That gap has gone out now. Mogg's got clear, and we can see here comes our.
And Frank Binding has been lapped by the race leader. We see now, so that means that
Rick Allen is the next one up the road. He's in that B&H lookalike.
Or Featherstone. Featherstone next to get. Featherstone next to get to be.
Greg Keane in the Group A Mustang is just being lapped as they cross the line.
Yeah.
So he's all the way up now.
He's the next person to be lapped. This lap is currently 8th. That is a somewhat dominant performance.
See the battle scars on the right front of that car on the
Yes.
car where he had the hit with McClellan earlier.
I thought that sort of race tape was original.
No, it only got put on today after qualifying. On the final lap now is Tony Alford, and has dominated this race. We really dominated the earlier race and would have won it quite easily if he hadn't had to come off the back of the grid and finish second. But certainly the XGIO car, I think it ended up 4th at Bathurst in 92.
Yeah, the question is, did Alford get back on the circuit? Sorry, or not Alford, McMahon, yes he did, yeah.
It's come through there in P3. Norway now just 13 seconds behind. And again, the timing has gone into a collision and not giving us quite what we need to see. But we can see right where we are now that it's Tony Alford that leads the way. Certainly helped his series, because this is the final round of the Heritage Series. And McClellan led coming into it, but now Alford, I say haven't led. It looks like one of the BMWs has run into a problem. That's the Allen car is slowing up significantly and will look like get lapped by Alford as well before we get to the checkered flag. So that'll be up to P7, which is the ex-Caltex Sierra. Since won the last lap, will Tony back out of it? I dare say not. He'll go on with this. Possibly put a lap there.
I think the Allen in the BMW almost deliberately slowed down to let him come through. No, he's actually retiring the car.
But across the line, there goes Tony Alford, wins race 2 for Heritage Touring Cars here at Muscle Car Masters this weekend. Jack Perkins should come along the side in second spot. He's just about to put a lap on Frank Binding. It doesn't matter, he doesn't have to. There's second position to the ex-Alfa Barbagallo Commodore VN, because it's a fairly significant track in Western Australia named Barbagallo, named after him. And
Owing to the fact that he owns it, perhaps?
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Kerry McMahon, despite trying to throw away third, does hold on to third. Lawler will be the next one across the line in 4th position. And we then look back to find Norm Mogg just pulling out and going across the line in P5 in ex-HRT Walkinshaw. And David Tower will be the next one. Frustrated a little bit, I suspect, because showed like he could have got past in the early laps.
The form was for him to wear the Walkinshaw down in the first half and then take the spot and walk away, but it went completely the opposite of the prediction. Which he didn't see the script.
Yeah. Steve Webb comes across in position 7. Faster, best of our other cars. Here's a quick rundown of the results. Alford first, Perkins, McMahon, Moore, Mogg and Tao, the top 6 there. The best of the Group C cars would have been 10th place Frank Binding. And that almost brings to a close day 1 of Muscle Car Masters 2017. Don't forget hashtag MCN17 if you want to make some comments, give us some feedback on what's happening. Tomorrow, of course, is day 2. It's a big day. Group NB kicks off the program at 9 o'clock. 9:27 Sports Sedans are out for race 2. Group C on their own, 9:55. Q&A V8 touring cars at 10:40. Production touring at 11:30 and 11:58. Group NC will be out for their second race of the weekend. And then in the afternoon, of course, after lunch break, Group A will be out for their standalone race, the Tirana anniversary race. Looking forward to seeing all those Group N Tiranas out there. Group NB is out again after that with the pre-64 cars. Q&A V8's their final race for the weekend. Sport Sedans, again, also their final race. Production touring, Group C and A will combine, and then Group NC will round out today. There's lots to come and see here tomorrow. Make sure you, if you're in the area, do come out. If not, keep with us on the live stream. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for watching on Planline TV, and it's our adios from us for now.